Moses joining me on the desk. Now, we are less than 24 hours away till the main event for Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada.
You know what? It's been a whirlwind week with festivities in and around the city. I'm pretty excited. And you know, this man, Matt Schumont, he managed to grab Stanley Cup champion Lanny MacDonald.
Thanks, Moses. Lanny, I just want to start off. You're out here with the kids having some fun. Just talk about coming to a place like Lloydminster and practicing with the kids and having some fun.
Well, this is my 4th Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada, and it is absolutely fantastic. So heavily involved in the community. We're at the breakfast this morning. We do a school visit before we come out on the ice with the kids. And the biggest thing is we're just trying to make sure the kids have fun. You try and send a nice message at the school about respect and looking after each other and passing it on. And then out here on the ice, it's all about having a chance to participate. Whether you win or lose, you're out here with friends, and there's a whole lot of people who would love to be here.
Okay, now you're a very busy man. I want to go back to New Year's Eve. You had the chance to go to Detroit and play in the alumni game. So talk about, you know, that experience and, you know, lacing them up again and having one last time with the boys there.
Well, it was so much fun having a chance to do the outdoor classic, and there was 3 of us, Tiger, Daryl, and I all had our grandsons there. So to be able to try and instill in them the love for the game that we all have, and it's the same thing as here. You pay it forward, you pass it on, and like I said, Scotiabank does a heck of a job in the community of passing it on, and we're trying to do the same thing. And that game in Detroit, both the alumni game and the outdoor game was fantastic. To have 106,000 people watching the game, unbelievable.
Okay, now quickly, I just want to talk about the Calgary Flames. You spent 8 seasons with Calgary. Do you like the direction that they're going in? Because I know they're in the rebuilding process, but do you like where they're headed right now?
Well, I like where they're headed, but I'm kind of hoping they lose a couple more games so we get that first draft pick. You know what? The work ethic that they have put in this year has been phenomenal. Yes, they're a little short on talent, but the talent will come, especially if you go through a couple of years where you're in that top 1 to 6 draft choices. You look at Sean Monahan right now and how well he's playing. That's a good sign for the future.
Lanny, thank you very much for taking the time and doing this.
It's a pleasure.
Moses?
Thanks a lot, Matt. All right, we're going to move on. He's been a staple on Hockey Night in Canada for over 30 years. Fans across the country glued to their TV sets for Coach's Corner, hanging on his every word like a carefully sewn stitch on his flamboyant suits. In a Newcap Sports exclusive, the PWM Steelers had a special gift for the man known as Grapes. Cherry was presented with this lovely blazer, which they'll need to do and spread the word about his arrival in the border city.
When we found out Don was coming to this town, we thought we had to have a jacket to match his tie, so he was good enough to take the time to come and accept it from the Steelers.
Well, I tell you, I got chicks with sticks. I'm very happy to be here. They give me one about 4 or 5 years ago, I think, and I wore it. Next Saturday, I'm going to have it on Coach's Corner.
From one interview to another, our very own Matt Schumont has been hustling around the city, chatting with some of the most famous personalities in hockey. That includes Toronto's Maple Leafs great, Wendell Clark.
Thanks, Moses. Now, Wendell, I just want to start off. We're here at the Father Gorman School. Got the Stanley Cup behind us with all the kids wanting to touch it. So talk about how fun it's been, you know, coming down here and seeing all these kids with the big smiles.
Well, it's always great. Anytime we get to do school visits and the Stanley Cup is here and all the guys, the energy in the building, all the kids being hockey fans, especially in their small towns, it's always fun.
Okay, now you've been on the ice a couple times for some on-ice sessions with the kids. So just talk about that experience, because I know they're probably super excited to have former NHLers like yourself on the ice giving them some tips.
Well, it's been great. The kids have had some great energy. They've listened well. They've played hard. Been very organized, and it's like I say, everybody's been pumped, waiting for this to happen, and it's been great so far. Lloydminster's done a great job.
Now, I talked to Lanny earlier about the Winter Classic back in Detroit on New Year's Eve. Now you're also involved with it. So what was your experience like, you know, playing in front of a crowd like that?
Well, it's great, and the whole big thing is playing with that many alumni in one area. So you had 100 alumni guys between the two teams getting to play in front of a big rink and a less pressure atmosphere than real guys had to play in. So it was just a lot of fun between playing in the game and just seeing all the guys.
Any particular memory that you're taking away from that event?
Just the memory of, like I say, we got to play, and you had a whole era you know, from the 70s through 2010, all playing at the same time and running into those guys for 2-3 days there. So that was a lot of fun.
Wendell, thank you very much for doing this with us.
Very good. Thank you.
Moses.
All right, thanks again, Matt. Now, media from TV, radio, and print showcased their skills or lack thereof at the Civic Center last night as part of the Lloydminster Minor Hockey Skills Competition. Now, Newcap's own Kyle Gallagher, Matt Schumont, along with Lloyd FM's morning show host Brandon Bosler were the big winners. Of course, Bosler, the most accurate title. Very nice. Matt Schumont would earn bragging rights for the hardest shot, as you'll see right there. Things would get interesting when it came down to the shootout. Now, none of the 5 skaters could score on Bobcats goalie Devin Green. So in 2 attempts each, they were lackluster. So a Pee-wee goalie took a spot in the net. After several rounds, Kyle Gallagher would eventually score with a nice backhand there, putting an end to a very lackluster showing from some of Lloydminster's finest broadcasters.
I mean, out of all the adult men here, I was the one that could score on a kid, so I guess I got that going for me.
Overall, I thought it was pretty embarrassing. To not be able to score on a Pee-wee goaltender is not anything I would ever thought would have happened.
You know what? I'm not quite surprised because I think our athleticism over the years has kind of decreased by a lot. So I'm just happy to be out here. Gave it 110.
Kudos to all the guys out there who participated last night. All right, quickly to the AJHL tonight. The Lloydminster Bobcats look to put a little bit of a distance between themselves and the Sherwood Park Crusaders for 3rd place in the North Division. Of course, this is the first game of a home-and-home tomorrow. Should be a very good one. In college hoops, we will let you know that the second half of the season begins tonight for the Lakeland Rustlers, who are hosting the Medicine Hat Rattlers at Lakeland Gym. Tip-off for the ladies is at 6, followed by the men at 8.